Good morning, 6:30, Friday, April 17th. It's the ECI Focus meeting where we're going to talk about a lot of good things today. We're going to start off with Beth Schiller over at Champlain Medical on a kind of a wellness series to kind of kick off the wellness challenge. But before we do that, we'll quickly talk about our safety stats. Excellent job past 7 days. Let's finish this week strong. So 43 from our last recordable, 43 from our last first aid, and then 14 from our last vehicle incident out there in the roadway. So again, try to remember the main two is those unsafe behaviors and those unsafe conditions. Let's do our best to identify and eliminate and substitute as much as we can. And then when we're behind the wheel, let's just keep the distractions down, keep the speeds in check. So you give yourself ample time to make good decisions so we don't get in any fender benders out there. So Beth, welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. And before we start on our topic, I just want to congratulate all of you that have joined the Wellness Challenge. We've been busy at the office, and I hope that we've been providing great service to you guys and giving you some information that you can think about. And come back and see us whenever you need to, whether it's for any kind of an injury that's not, well, you'll see us for work-related injuries, but if you hurt yourself at home, and you can come on in if you got a cold, if you're just not feeling right, or you just want to catch up with us on any chronic conditions. The beauty of the program is that once you're in the program, you can utilize us for essentially anything in the office for the rest of the year. So please feel free to drop in and say hello, whether, when you need it. And even if you don't need it, you can just drop in and say hi. So anyways, topic for today is smoking, vaping. Yeah, I know. It's hard to quit. And I've heard that some of you have put on your goals is to quit or reduce. And I applaud you for all of that, because I know it is hard to quit. And it's hard in an environment where you're working with folks, 8-10 hours a day. They're smoking, and it's a really hard thing to be able to back away from that. What we're going to talk about pretty quickly is some stats, if you must smoke, some prevention measures for smokers, one of which is called a low-dose CT scan, and the other is a pneumonia vaccine. And for those of you that are part of either Cigna or any other insurance plan, the low-dose CT as well as the pneumonia vaccine should be free. It should not go towards the deductible or any copay or anything along those lines. So go ahead, Matt. Okay, just some stats. I know everybody's heard this, but smoking causes most lung cancers and many other cancers, including mouth, esophagus, stomach, liver, and colon. So it's not just lung cancer that we're talking about. Other things that smoking causes is cardiovascular disease. It's the major cause of heart disease, stroke, and other circulation problems. It can lead to high blood pressure. It also, as one would imagine, smoking causes what we call COPD, emphysema, and chronic bronchitis. And it also increases the risk for any of those respiratory infections like pneumonia, and can worsen things like asthma. And on the same thing, I don't have this on my slide, but for those of you, with back pain and neck pain, it also reduces the oxygen that goes to your spine, which then puts you at higher risk for disc problems. Go ahead, Matt. All right, so how do we mitigate those risks? Well, we can quit smoking. Another thing is this low-dose chest CT scan yearly and the pneumonia vaccine. Next. Okay, so some options for smoking cessation. 802quits.org is online. They will provide you with patches and other information and coaching in terms of trying to quit. Your PCP, for many of you, that may be us, and we are more than happy to help you on that front. There's medications, and then, we have some other ideas and tricks up our sleeve to help with that. And then, if you're really, if this is what your goal is, maybe you can talk with your co-workers and put together a group, right? So you can hold one another accountable and support one another in the process. You can all be angry at each other at the same time, which is kind of fun. The low dose CT, okay, criteria for doing that. So for you young folks, there is no low dose CT. I can only recommend that you quit smoking. But for those of you age 55 to 74 and you've had a 30-year pack history of smoking, so even if you quit, if you smoked for a long time, you are still eligible for this. And then we also have, if you turn to the next slide, Matt, if you're 50 and older and you have a 20-year pack history of smoking, and you have other issues like somebody in your family died of lung cancer, or you also have COPD, or there's, any other kind of cancers, you obviously would be eligible for this screening. Next slide. Okay, pack years. I just talked about pack years. So if you smoke 2 packs a day for 10 years, that's 20 pack years, and that's how we deem it in the medical field. Go ahead. All right. Pneumonia vaccine. Now, I know some of you guys are, the COVID thing, and everybody's gotten kind of pushing away from vaccines, but the idea of the pneumonia vaccine, it's a once in 5 or 10 years. And the idea here is if you get pneumonia, to try to keep it at bay so that you don't land yourself in the hospital for a week or more trying to get rid of the virus. It's good for smokers, people that have asthma or COPD. And for those of you that are interested, what we can do, especially for those in the wellness program that do not have insurance, if there's enough interest, we can order some from the state and we can give that vaccination to you as part of the wellness benefits. Yeah. We do the same thing with shingles, and we can do that again too, Matt. Anybody who's 50 or older, if there's interest in getting the shingles vaccine, which is, for those of you that aren't familiar, the young folks who had chickenpox. Chickenpox is a virus that once you've had chickenpox, then you've got this thing lying around in your body, and shingles, which generally comes out, it's sort of a reactivation of the chickenpox virus. And it can be, for most people, it's not so bad, but for some people, it can be miserable and make them have pain and suffering for 6 months or a year. So if that's anything of interest, let me know. Matt, I think we missed the CT stuff. There was pictures, I think, somewhere back there. No?
Slide 11 or 11.
Yeah, it was back. Oh, okay. I thought there was a slide there. Anyways, let me just talk about, oh, there it is. Let me just talk about the CT, what it is. The idea of the CT low-dose chest scan is to catch cancers really early. before they've gotten big, ugly, and they're a problem to deal with in terms of like a full-blown cancer. So if you get this scan once a year, and for those of you that don't have insurance, there is a place in Plattsburgh for $250, which is probably, I don't know, a $10 a pack of cigarettes. It's only 25 packs of cigarettes. You can get this scan done, and really, instead of the idea of, oh well, if it's if I don't have cancer, then I'm not going to worry about it. This can actually help get cancer really early, so you can actually resolve it and go on with your life, whether it's, with your wife, your kids, your grandkids. So for those of you that are interested, reach out to us. We can get things scheduled for you and do what you need to do in terms of prevention for those of you that are smoking.
Yeah, it's really, really cool preventative measure here, especially we had quite a bit of participation in individuals trying to quit smoking or reduce smoking. I can't urge you enough. Don't do this by yourself. Continue to go to Champlain Medical, call Beth and their team, and look at all these avenues to really help you hopefully kick this habit that can be really dangerous to your overall health, chronic exposure over long periods of time, to avoid these really difficult cancers to overcome.
Yeah. And like I said, for those of you that you're in a group of guys or ladies that all smoke, and all as part of your goal is to reduce your smoking, is get in a group, be accountable to one another. Same with exercise. If you're looking to increase your exercise, if you've got a group that is all doing the same thing, I find that when you're accountable to others besides yourself, it's easy when it's just yourself to kind of slump off a little bit. But if you're accountable to others and you reach out to say, hey, I did 3 miles today, and what did you do? And work it that way, I think it can really be helpful for everybody to make their goals, or at the very least move towards their goals, because I know everybody wants to win that side by side.
Well, Beth, thanks for getting up with us first thing this morning, and we appreciate you and the team over at Champlain Medical. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And let us know what we can do to help you guys out. And if there's any, if people are not feeling comfortable or want to give us some ideas for improvement, please reach out.
448-9370.
That's right.
You got it.
Yeah, and anyone who wants to is interested in those vaccines, the pneumonia and the shingles vaccines, reach out to Matt, so that that would give Matt or Tom actually could get an idea to get with Beth and let her know if there's some interest there. I think there needs to be enough interest for them to get the vaccine in, I'm thinking. Right, Beth?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, typically we need 10 people.
10.
Yep.
Sure. Good info.
I had one question, Beth, or if you're still
Yeah.
there. How often, I know some of us have had the shingles vaccine. How often is that suggested to have?
It's a one time.
One time.
So the shingles
Okay.
vaccine is actually 2 doses.
Yep.
Spaced apart, but it's a one-time thing.
Okay.
And I would say the pneumonia is probably once every 10 or 15 years at the most.
Yep.
So that too is, it's you could call it similar to your tetanus vaccine for the pneumonia vaccine, right? Because your tetanus vaccine is good for 10 years.
Perfect.
Yep.
Good information. Thank you, Beth.
You are welcome.
Feel free to stay in if you want to see what else we
Yeah.
do.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, Matt, anybody else have any questions before we move on? Okay. I just need you to let me know when my screen starts to share, Matt. It takes a minute sometimes.
We got it.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Code of conduct this week is to speak and act supportively about ECI as a company and about our workers. So be positive and strive to help solve issues, help each other. And when you have those tough conversations, those are better. It takes a lot of courage to do, but do it in private and have it with the person that you need to talk to. It's very important to not let things fester. Ownership topic this week should be familiar to everyone because we talk about this one all the time. How we stay true to our mission is we keep our priorities in order. And number one is always safety. Always. Safety's number one. Quality's number two. And then production. We can't flip them. When we flip them, we have problems. A lot of things that you see out there with other contractors and sometimes with ourselves is when somebody puts getting something done quicker above doing it right or above safety, we got a problem. Because when we don't do it right, what do we always do, Matt? What do? We go back and we fix it, right?
Yep. Fix it.
We fix it. We make it right. So that's always going to cost us. And safety costs a lot of money. And when we compromise someone's safety, it always costs us. It costs us everything. So stay disciplined. Keep those priorities in the right order. Don't flip them. And that's how we succeed. As I say here, consistently, responsibly, and together. So thanks for holding the line and staying true to our priorities. It's an important one. I don't think I've done that one before in this fashion, but it's something that we talk about every single time something happens.
Yep. It's in the mission statement.
Is it? It is. I was thinking of putting those up there so everyone could see them again.
Yeah.
Next week. Equipment focus. We got some information that Pat Wells and the guys in the shop put together, and I'm sure they're gonna chime. They're free to chime in here, but I'll start by kind of going through some of the notes that they came up with yesterday. Try to catch some of these other things that we don't talk about sometimes. Greasing. It's kind of nice to hear we're doing good on the greasing. One of the things lately that we've had issues with is the dump body hinge points. That takes them a lot of work to get them out and get them repaired when they're frozen. So that's just one of those things that we haven't talked about before that's important, is to keep those hinge pins greased and lubricated. The trucks and the equipment cabs, including the floor, all the mud and some of these job sites, and the mud buildup has caused some of the pedals to freeze and get corroded and stuck, and that's a safety problem, and it's an issue for them to try to get those things going again. So keep the floors clean, keep the cab swept out. The mud and the salt and all the other stuff, when it builds up in there, it's a safety hazard and it's a problem mechanically for some of these pedals. The excavator front windows, there's the upper window that I always used to get frustrated when one of the operatives would slide that upper window in the machine up, but he wouldn't latch it, and it would come slamming down when the machine jarred. So that upper window, especially on the excavator, slide it up and put the pins in place. And then the lower window, when we're not breaking it by something coming in and hitting it, it can get broken if we don't stow it properly. And a lot of these machines nowadays have different places that you can put behind the seat in a holder. So that's important. Broken windows, glass costs a lot of money. And it's frustrating when it's raining and it's crappy out and you don't have a good window. So general cleanliness, keeping everything clean and in good condition makes us look good. It looks professional, and it also is a good way to care for the equipment, especially with some of that salt and those things that are built up, under the fender wells, like we always talk about. Right now, we're in a moist, warm environment, which is going to just accelerate the corrosion process, especially with some salt on the vehicle still. And communication, report to these guys when something happens. Let them know early. It really is a problem when it's first thing in the morning and we haven't communicated and they need parts and they can't get them. Sometimes it's just not feasible in emergency situation to get us up and running efficiently, and it costs us all a lot of money when we're not prepared. So communicating early. You can do things on Fleetio. You can do things by text. You can do things by phone calls. Tell your supervisor. These guys really care about our equipment. And as Brad always says, I don't know if he wants to say it today, just give us a call, right? Anything from the shop to add? Did I do okay trying to interpret your info? Must have done good.
Looks like you hit it.
They're probably giving me the thumbs up. Good job, you guys. And I really appreciate the team we have in the shop, and as you all should. Here's our 2026 team photo. Elena cleaned it up a little. I left it in there this week. It was kind of dark, so we've got that in there this week. We get some new employees that started. We get Doug Lewis. He's working on the concrete crew, working with the forms. And so welcome, Doug. And we've got Mike Luce, track worker. We met with those guys on Monday with their orientation, so they're completing the first week, and hopefully you guys are on the meeting. And I did add you guys to the email, so if you didn't get the email, let me know. I want to make sure I got your email address corrected in the system. So if you didn't get the email, give me a holler. You can call me or text me, 598-9212. Everybody knows how to get me. Project of the week this week is going to be hopefully presented by Tom Lawyer. Tom, are you on?
I am. I'm in Eric's office. I'm having some technical difficulties, Ben, so I'm in here with Eric in his office.
Okay, say hi to Charlie for me. Charlie's in today.
That's how I fix the computer problem. I just go to somebody else's.
All right, there you go. All right, I'll let you take it away, Tom.
All right, I'll let you drive, Ben, and I'll read. How's that sound?
Yep.
So this project happened just a couple months ago, if not even a couple months ago, last month. ECI was contracted by Crooker Construction of Topsom, Maine, to perform the trenchless installation work for the City of Bath, Maine, Harward Street Pump Station and Sewer Interceptor Upgrade Project. Crooker Construction is a 90-year-old civil construction company based out of Topsom, Maine. They offer many of the same services we offer here at ECI. And in addition to those similarities, they're also a 100% employee-owned company. And they were on their game. They were just excellent to work with for sure. The engineer on this project was Wright Pierce. We, the ECI trenchless team, and I'm sure many of the other groups here at ECI have worked on a lot of Wright Pierce projects for us specifically throughout New England for many years, including the difficult Exeter, New Hampshire siphon project that we're all familiar with. Wright Pierce continues to call on ECI for input during the design phase of trenchless installations that they are working on. So we've developed a good relationship with them for sure. On this project, our scope of work was to install a 48-inch by 70-foot grade-sensitive steel casing, 3/4-inch wall thickness under the Cumberland and Knox Railroad. The ECI crew of Mike Wright, Brian Coda, Chris Bocash, Sam Coda, and Ethan Coda used an American auger model 4854-900 for the install. The unit was rented from West Texas Auger based out of Sequin, Texas. We have actually 2 auger boring machines that we own ourselves. We didn't have one size for this project. So this 4854 indicates 48-inch casing up to 54-inch casing and 900,000 pounds of thrust, which we didn't need all of that. This job went quite well with our advance rates, but it was a nice machine for sure. At the beginning, we encountered some equipment issues with the actual auger boring machine, as well as one of Crooker's excavators, as well as one of Barrett's trucks. Anyway, it ended up causing a delay and we had to go back the following week. But actually, once we got into production mode, everything went great. The advance rate on the casing averaged about 1 hour per 20-foot section. Mike and Chris performed the welding in an equally impressive amount of time. And upon return to the site, we had 1 day of setup, 2 days of production work, and then came home. We'll be going back up to Maine for a different contractor, in a different, similar situation, be a 54-inch 80-footer. We're waiting for a go on that. We're waiting for a rail inspector, to be honest with you. But that is also a Wright Pierce project. And also Ranger Construction will be working for is another 100% employee-owned company. So seems to be the vibe up there. Okay, Ben, slide it on down.
Pretty cool machine. That 40, we have a 42-600, so
Yep.
we're capable of 600,000 pounds of the thrust, and that one's
Yep.
50% more. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and even more with our Ackerman system. So
Yeah.
we could have done this project, with our pipe ramming equipment as well, but one of the two railroads up there will not accept pipe ramming. So we tried to bundle these jobs together and selected that machine for that purpose. This is just a cover sheet of the plan set. We do a lot of work up on the coast here of Maine, that Portland, and actually up in Maine, we've been as far as Van Buren, and it's a big state. We've done a lot of work up there for sure. The next sheet is the plan and profile views. Pretty flat. It had a slight slope on it, and it was a two pass system. So our guys nailed it perfectly. No problems at all there. We got a few pictures here. This is I try to put these in sequence of how the job unfolded here. This is the delivery of the auger boring equipment. And then there was a second truck that brought the 54-inch auger for the next job. And you can slide on down.
Big augers.
Yeah, here they are setting the mud slab. Mike Wright made an advanced trip up there to have the early prep done, and there was a little misstep there when we got there. They didn't quite have it even close to the way it needed to be, so they had to start over. But with the delay of the equipment, it worked out just fine. With the breakdown of the equipment, rather. So, next slide. This is when we returned. There was a little bit of a nor'easter. Our guys traveled up on Sunday to get ahead of that a little bit and worked around the weather for a day, and then I think it got pretty good after that, weather-wise. This is the top half of that auger boring system, and this is a good picture because all of these auger bores, you can split them in half. So this machine weighed just under 20,000 pounds, and obviously that's a lot of weight for excavators to handle. So we often split these machines in half just for the purpose of handling. And that's what we're trying to show here. Tough picture. I'm guessing they're getting ready to put a piece of casing into position. It looks like this casing, this is from the entry pit angle. It looks like we got another 6 or 7 feet to drive before they get ready. Maybe that machine is just sitting there idle, the excavator.
Yep.
Next slide.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a better view of that same picture. So it looks like Brian here is getting ready to push that last 5 feet or so, whatever that is, and then we'll break that apart and set another casing and continue. These big casing sections, there's a lot of spoils that come out of there too, so that sometimes will slow down our advance rates or our production rates, if you will. This is a nice view of the back abutment, the reaction wall here on the back. As I mentioned early on, 900,000 pounds of thrust, but we rarely get into actually maxing these machines out. We do from time to time. Wasn't the case here, but we always want to make sure that that reaction wall is going to handle what we need it to handle. Here they are putting another casing. Looks like they're picking a casing, getting it ready to put into the hole for welding. This is a picture of breaking away from the auger. So once we advance the casing as far as we want, we'll reverse the auger. The track system's got locks, kind of like dogs on it, so we can reverse it and snap loose, set the next casing and auger section.
Nice. Thank you, Tom.
That job went well, and thanks to all the guys who were up there. That job, the frustrating part was the mechanical issues, but other than that, it went great, and I appreciated all the help from everybody. That's a wrap on that one.
Good job, you guys, and thanks for putting that together. I got a photo here from 1985 that I found somewhere. I think somebody had posted this one. I didn't take this one. I've got some that I've taken, but they're not as quite of this area. So Taft's Corners, you're looking out there. Up on the upper left is where where there was a field where we used to get hay out of when I came here. That's where we used to get up mulch hay. Tom, are you on?
Yeah, Eric and I are sitting here looking at this, trying to figure out what's what.
Okay, well, there's VTC right there.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
VTC's in the right in the forefront.
Yep.
There's Blair Park down with the loop road. And then when you look out beyond, you see the silo, that was still here when I came to work for ECI. The silo, right down behind where the key bank was for years.
Where's the silo? Oh, right here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right to the right of the silo was the field where they now have, the steakhouse in. And,
Texas.
then that other corner that's got trees on it and bushes, that's where the bagel place is, that was Friendly's. And then that
Oh.
whole Maple Tree Place, that was all big field. Alan used to send us up there after it rained and they didn't bring their hay in because he got a good deal on hay. And so we'd have to pick it up ourselves. But that's no Home Depot, nothing on the right. That was all empty. Remember that, Tom? Remember the,
Yeah, I do, but I'm still trying to get my ordinance right.
This is Blair Park right here.
That's
Blair
what I
Park
thought
is
was
right close. And then in Williston Road is that one showing transverse right across from right
Yep.
from right to left. And then that's Route 2A headed out towards the interstate.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
That's
Pretty
correct.
cool.
So the police, the post, the
Yeah.
new state police up in here then, right? Yeah. got it.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's unrecognizable to a lot of people now, but that's the way it looked when I came to work at ECI.
Any idea what
Pretty
year
cool.
that photo has been?
Let's see.
85.
That's from 85. That's up.
Yep,
a little bit
1985.
early then.
Nope.
I saw that. I was questioning if that was the right age.
Yep.
Full picture.
That's the year they built the big building just out behind where the silo is. Yep. It's a black and white photo, which makes it look older. All right. Well, anybody that watched in a group setting, right, Matt? Let Matt know.
Exactly.
I'll turn it
Please
over
let
to
us know.
you to
Yep.
kick us off for the week, for the day.
Yeah, let's work safe today. Let's drive safe. Let's work together. Let's have an awesome day.